Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this session of the Invivo Quest Tour 2020-2021. This session is focusing on Central Europe and actually on AgRobotics. So the title of this conference is Discover the Benefits of AgRobotics for a Sustainable and Profitable Agriculture. This is what we're going to explore with three great speakers that we have today. And this session actually follows a conference that took place yesterday already on Central Europe, and that was focusing on regenerative agriculture. If you missed it, then you are welcome to watch it in a replay on the same digital platform it was recorded, as this conference will be recorded afterwards. The three speakers that we'll have today to talk about AgRobotics and its potential for transitioning agriculture in Europe and also for addressing climate change issues are Hannes Schauer. Hello, Hannes. You're with us from Vienna, Austria. You're the innovation manager in the Agro Innovation Lab. That is a big innovation hub in Austria. So thank you for being here with us. We also have Martin Lukart. Martin, you are here from the Netherlands, and you are the CEO of Oddbot, a young, promising startup that proposes very innovative robots for weeding. And then we have Arnaud de la Fouchardière. He's with us from France. He's the CEO of Vitirover, a young company, more than promising, young company proposing robots also for weeding, but with a slightly different approach of AgRobotics. So for you who are online with us, please don't hesitate to ask your questions. You have a button down the screen here. Please use the Q&R button to type your question, and then we will address the questions as they come, as the speakers will make their presentations. We won't wait until the end. Speakers, the three of you, you can try to answer them in writing if you want, or we can talk about it as they come. So I'd like to start with you, Hannes. Hannes, please say a few words about yourself and about this Agro Innovation Lab that is based in Austria.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot, Marie-Cécile. Yeah, well, as you said, I'm an innovation manager at Agro Innovation Lab. So what is Agro Innovation Lab? Generally, Agro Innovation Lab is an innovation platform of RWA, which is an Austrian-based cooperative, which is selling and dealing with input materials for farmers. And RWA decided to get into innovation and to startups by creating an innovation hub, Agro Innovation Lab. And so this happened 2016. The aim of this innovation hub is to screen the market for new innovative solutions, as AgRobotics is. And therefore, we carried out a robotics challenge last year in 2019.
Okay. Very good. I think you have other slides to present your Agro Innovation Lab. You have a great startup network.
Yeah, correct. So this is what we did the last few years. We focused on several topics and application fields, always within agriculture, and created a network of different innovative solutions in order to bring the new products on the market. So this is always our aim, to create together new solutions together with the startups. And since 2016, we already accelerated 800 startups, so which resulted in more than 20 projects which we carried out. The various fields from sensors to robotics, or organic input materials. And as I said, always with the aim of creating a common sales collaboration or also an investment. As you see on the bottom here, we already have 4 investments done since 2016.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay, Martin, tell us about yourself and about Oddbot in a few words, and you're on mute.
Hello, my name is Martijn Lukaert. I'm the founder and CEO of Oddbot. With Oddbot, we have managed to successfully build and develop an autonomous mechanical weeding robot. Yeah, my background is in high-tech, software, hardware, and now more recently also in robotics. And yeah, I'm an entrepreneur since I was a teenager. I turned 42 yesterday. And I'm happy to tell you more about our robot in a moment.
Very good, thank you. Arnaud, please tell us about Vitirover in a few words.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Arnaud de la Fouchardière. Thank you for having me. So I can say that I'm an experienced entrepreneur. I founded several companies during my career. And today we'll speak in a moment about Vitirover. Before Vitirover, I created the first French electronic commerce site for the sale of household appliances. The name of the company was Marco Poli, and the company has been acquired by Orange France Telecom. And before Marco Poli, I was in the marketing industry. I founded the Tequila marketing agency, and as CEO, I oversaw its international expansion before selling it to TBWA Omnicom, the world's leading communications company. And I'm also an independent expert for the European Commission in robotics, in digital agriculture, and artificial intelligence. And my father was a farmer. And I'm now the co-founder and CEO of the company Vitirover, specialized in service robotics. We'll speak about in France. And we'll speak about Vitirover, but whenever you want, you are welcome at Saint-Emilion.
Okay. Okay, so to set the scene, Anis, I'm going to give you the floor because I think you have a very good overview of what's going on in Europe right now on AgRobotics. So what are the various solutions and various ways that are being explored right now by various companies across Europe? What are the main countries that are the most advanced? What kind of solutions are being designed? What about, is it still promises or already solutions and realities?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So what we did last year, as a first step, we took a look at the market. Roughly, we looked on the market worldwide. So what startups are out there? Where do they come from, and what solutions they are developing? And what we explored here, there is a not too big number of companies working on these solutions. We scouted about more than 100, but I'm sure there are a lot more out there. But I think it's a good average of the market. What we saw there's a big spot in the USA as common for the startup scene, but not only in the USA, but also in Europe. If you take together all the countries of Europe, we have much more innovation here than in the USA. With leading here in France or United Kingdom, but also Germany is a big spot for this ag-tech, ag-robotic startups. And we did this challenge because we see a clear need from our farmers in Austria. There is a lack of labor, a lack of people who are willing to do this hard job in the field, either killing weeds or harvesting. And that's why we looked at this promising trend. And that's also what we can derive from our market research, that the most of this more than 100 companies are developing solutions for the specific application field of weed control. And the reason for that is because we think that the alternative costs which they can innovate are the highest in the application field of weed control or also in fruit harvest. Especially in the organic cultivation, where you have much higher working hours in killing the weeds. And as you may know, Austria, with about 30% of organic cultivation, this is a big demand from the market, and that's why we are really interested in the solutions. Yeah, so I take the next slide. So we invited these companies to work with us and come to Austria and show the solutions. And what we saw during these field demonstrations, that there is no dominant design yet. So, which means there is no design like which weed killing application is dominant, or many startups are using this application. We saw different. We saw mechanical weeding systems or systems with high voltage. We saw systems with hot oil. And the conclusion we took out of that is that there is still some time necessary to get the real market-ready product which is able to scale. There are systems which are already ready to buy and to sell, but in more small numbers, to iterate the development time by time, step by step. And it's the same for the business model. We think we saw different business models, from normal selling the machines, or renting them out, or even the service model, which we hear, I think, from Arnaud more in detail. Yeah, I think the hurdles of the AgPod startups is quite interesting, because many of these startups are quite some years already in the market, and it takes time. It's a highly technological product, which comes also at a price level which doesn't make it easy for a farmer to invest in. So the farmer needs some security that the machine he is going to buy is also delivering results. And here we see a lack of trust and security for the farmer, for the startups to sell their robots. And a business model like a service model to sell maintained hectares might be a bridge which overcomes this hurdle. But this is, I think, at the beginning, and maybe cooperatives can be a key element here to overcome this hurdle. Yeah, we also took a look at this legal issue, or also the liability, because what we could find out, and it was really not easy to get here a clear opinion or a clear statement from legal offices. What we found out is that it's not about regulations. So the farmer is allowed to drive a robot on the field, but it's more about liability. So what happens if the robot drives on the street? What happens if children goes into the field and are hurted by the robot? And here there is no historical incident which might take a look. or liability comes to a farmer, or even comes into the dealer, which is doing the service model, or comes into the producer, like the AgRobotics startups. Here is a big gray zone, I would say, and I think this gray zone in liability is the next big hurdle for this market introduction, but it's a natural hurdle, and I think it will become smaller and smaller the more robots will be out there in the field. And I'm very interested to Martin and Arnaud's opinion on this topic, but maybe later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so our main takeaways, maybe for the last, as a point from my side. So it is definitely an opportunity. First of all, there is a big market demand, so the farmer are really willing to step into this new technology, but there are also some hurdles, and I already mentioned these uncertainties regarding the liability, and it might take some years to develop this market step by step. But it's definitely worth it. So for a dealer as other company, RWA. RWA belongs also to the Baver Group, which is a big international dealer in agricultural input materials. It might be a cool chance to cross-sell other input materials, to offer the service and also the input materials, to offer really this full service package to the farmer, which is in times of digitalization a real challenge, not only selling products, more selling services. And I think this is the big cake behind this technology or this trend. And yeah, we from Agro Innovation Lab and RWA Baver, we are really willing to be part of it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Hannes. I think you have a video for us because you organize a robotics challenge on your Agro Innovation Lab every year, or was it the first one last year?
Yeah, this was the first one. It was a specialized format. We did due to this high market demand. And yeah, if we can show the video, this would be great to get an overview of what we did last year.
Good.
Very warm welcome to the Robotics Challenge 2019. Robotics in agriculture is already one of the most discussed topics, and that is why we decided to set up a specified format.
We are here due to an invitation from the Agro Innovation Lab to participate in this robotic challenge with our unit Robotics.
We wanted to see how much value these concepts of robotics in agriculture really bring to the farmer. That is why we set up field trials.
We offer startups to come to Austria, to come to RWA and bring their innovations to our company.
So basically what it can do is drive autonomously around, and that helps you with a lot of work you want to do on the field.
So if there is a challenge, let's say with getting additional labor, this is an extra worker for you.
We've been talking about them a lot, but now to physically see them working in the field has been great.
I really liked the event today because it gave us the opportunity to look at all the other robots that are currently in development.
For us, it's always, let me say, refreshing to get into a conversation with young startups.
We can only perform with the modern industry, and startups can be the bridge to these new technologies.
I think that farmers in Austria and Germany see it as a clear opportunity to use robotics in agriculture, because at the end of the day it helps them do their job more efficient and in a shorter time span.
Well, thank you very much for this very nice video about this event of last year. I hope there will be other ones. I'd like now to pass the floor to Martin. Martin, I would be very interested in your reactions from a few things that have been said already by Hannes, especially this starting point that is the lack of labor and the demand for from the organic sector. And I think it's actually the sector that you are looking at for your robot.
Yeah.
So could you please explain us what your robots from Oddbot are doing? What are their specificities? You say that your robots are better for the planet and for farmers' wallets, which is exactly in line with the title of this conference, actually, profitability and sustainability.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So we also see this big market demand for a solution that can help the organic farmers with the weeding tasks. Yeah, as said in the introduction, we have now built successfully an autonomous mechanical weeding robot. This robot utilizes AI and machine learning technology. Yeah, and we believe that this technology is not only vital to the organic farmers here in Europe, farmers that currently spend millions a year on all those hand weeding tasks. Moreover, eventually conventional farmers as well, who are looking to reduce or need to replace their chemical herbicides. And excluding machinery, that's in Europe already a market of 5.5 billion. So that's much larger than just the organic focus that we have initially. Yeah, I can present some slides on what we have developed, and I can go a bit deeper into the topic. Let's see if I have the controls. I think I should be able to.
Okay.
So yeah, here you see an organic carrot field. You see that on the left and the right, the weeds are already cleaned. This farmer was really late though. He kind of was running behind the fact, already spending more than 200 hours per hectare. So this was quite extreme. Yeah, and we see there's quite some different type of weeds that people would like to remove. You have the annual, the perennial, and the biennial weeds, which, for instance, this here on the left, this is a root-based weed that will sprout again the next year. So you really would like to remove these weeds, including the root. And for sure, you don't want them to start spreading their seeds. Yeah, the current pain is that people are generally worried about the environment, the killing of bees, and they talk about an ecocide that is destroying the soil. And globally, we see that also concerns around eating chemical weed killers and the threatening of the drinking water facilities is becoming more top of mind. So what people want is healthy, nutritious, affordable, and also ethically sourced food. And that is also what the farmers want to produce. And we have visited many in the last 2 years. They want to keep their soil healthy as well, because that's their main asset. And they mentioned that the market dictates the price for which they can produce. And now the alternative to chemical, the organic farming, you see that the legislation is coming from Europe. They announced that they want to double the amount of organic farmland within the next 10 years and reduce the allowed chemicals by half. So there will be a big change. And the problem with organic farmer, as Hannes also mentioned, is that it's very labor intensive. So they're easily spending 100 hours more or less on average per hectare on the hand weeding. So that's leading to high costs. And these farmers, they have to perform this back-breaking work to keep their fields clean. And people just don't want to do this anymore. And the fragility of the system also was made more obvious by the recent COVID crisis. With the borders being closed, we had to suffer from not getting seasonal workers in, leaving the food to rot in the soil. So our solution is a mechanical autonomous weeding robot that can work day and night and heavily improve the efficiency of producing this healthier food in a sustainable way. And in order to offer this solution for the sustainable agriculture and be able to do this, we have to train and feed in a continuous learning algorithm to enable the robot to not only be aware of what it needs to remove, but also enable it to do that. And that's what we have done so successfully. In a co-creation process with the largest organic farming association here in the Netherlands, BioNext. And we work with the Technical University of Delft and with Wageningen University and Research. And yeah, that's why our robot at this point in time is already able to remove 2/3 of all weeds in the carrot field. And that's an accuracy that we want to boost to nearly 90% already by the end of the year. And yeah, here you have an overview of how this actually works. So what I will show you briefly is the detection algorithm, whereby you see how this identification works.
Yeah, the whole question is how to identify a carrot plant from a wheat plant, and then you need to educate the algorithm with thousands of pictures so that it can actually recognize the carrot from the weed.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, here you see our setup from last year. We just started with using GoPro cameras. And here we already had an accuracy of 70% detection. And that's what we now can increase, because we have now this continuous learning loop, whereby there's also actually a hand weeder in the training loop. So we have a detection system with a camera looking down. That is running the detection algorithm. Behind it, we have a delta arm robot, similar like you see here, which is the behind me. If I'm in the screen again, there's the delta arm robot to do the actual weeding, and behind it again, we check our own work, and then there's the manual weeder that's also training the detection algorithm. So the more it's being used, the better it will perform. And now, there's a black box with artificial lighting, so we can create the same lighting conditions all the time. So we've trained it now for carrots, and we're working on onions, and then the chicory is next. And we also already see a demand from the conventional chicory growers.
Mm-hmm.
More recently, we're working with Wageningen University and Research, and they have recently. Let me see if I have the controls again.
That's the next slide.
Yeah, I should be able to control the slides again. And that was on the demo field. So we're working with the Farm of the Future in Lelystad, in the heart of the Netherlands.
So what's the Farm of the Future? It's an experimental farm by Wageningen. What is it?
Yes, it's a test farm supported by both the province of Flevoland and Wageningen Research. So here they are testing new type of robots, also like the AgRobotics they've tested, and Robotics. And they are testing with strip cropping. And they have followed us through this last season, and validated the performance of both the detection and also the removal tool. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the removal tool as we are filing a patent right now. But it's in short, it's a 3-in-1 tool that can also already remove the very small weeds. So we're going to push in the very small weeds, and the larger ones we're going to pull out. And we are now able to already detect the crops and the weeds shortly after the sprouting stage, and the robot can work up to the moment that the canopy is closed. So for carrots, that's or for onions, that's almost up to the last moment, because these are type of crops that remain open and suffer a lot from weeds. So I said, we're first focusing on the organic farmers. I think I skipped one slide about the pricing, because we want to offer this as a service to whereby we charge a fee per hectare. Let me see if I can go one
so
slide.
it's the robot as a service that Annes presented. Yeah, it's the kind of model you are developing.
Yes. So in short, you see that on average, organic farmers are spending 100 hours per hectare. Here in Holland, they pay around 23 euros an hour. So that's 2,300 per hectare. And we plan to offer the robot for 500 euros per hectare for every time we come over. And we're now open to those that want to do paid pilots. And we're organizing some workshops also to learn about this new business model, what the farmers would like to see. I can imagine maybe we take over the complete weeding for the whole season. So I'm curious to learn also from Arnoud on how he validated that value proposition, and if that works with his clients.
Okay.
In short, with our solution, we not only tackle the need of the farmers that are facing new government legislation that will drastically impact the sector. We also support, of course, the organic farmers now first that really have the biggest pain, the highest cost, and the need of consumers who increasingly want healthier and better food. And we also address 7 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the cultural shift towards sustainability. Thank you for having me on the...
Well, thank you for your presentation. So I understand you have not marketed yet your robot. They are still not on the market. When do you think they will be sold on the market? Next year?
So next year we're planning to do the first paid pilots. So we invite people to sign up for that, and then further optimize the robot. And eventually we want to work with multiple of these Delta arms in a row. So we plan now to do the 0 series production in 2022. So use next year for the further optimization and full commercial validation with the farmers.
Okay, thank you very much, Martin. We still don't have any question from the audience, so we can carry on talking among ourselves, and we have a very interesting conversation. I'd like to give the floor now to Arnaud. Arnaud is going to present Vitirover. It's totally different model. It's also a weeding robot, but as I understand, it's not selective. It's also autonomous. But its specificity is that it works in herds of robots, in groups of robots. So please explain us what is the Vitirover model. Arnaud.
Thank you very much. Yes, we speak about Vitirover, and we speak about herds of robots to replace glyphosate and plowing. In this presentation, I want to give you after these 2 brilliant presentations, our point of view on robotics. I want to explain what has been our approach to develop Vitirover Robot. And on this occasion, you will see our point of view one more time on the difference between the different agricultural robots on the market. You will easily understand that our focus is on weed control. And for us, it all started in the vineyard because my associate is the son of a winemaker. So this was the basic orientation. So where do we come from in the vineyard? In the vineyard, we come from increasingly big machines, consuming more and more, doing the job faster and faster, and who hurt and cut the vine stocks. They are more and more polluting. They require more and more skills to be piloted. And so our first conversation with my co-founder, looking at that, and remember, he's from a family of winemakers. As observer, he said there is an incredible gap between the fragility of a vine stock and the size of the tractor. He also say there is an incredible gap between the glyphosate and the quality of the product of the wine. So this is a problem. As fathers, we said it is impossible to continue to pollute and to destroy soils and ecosystem. As geeks, we said, well, it must be possible to do better than what exists and try to find something really different to do the same job. And as entrepreneur, it was fantastic to say, certainly there is an important business behind all that. And this was really the base, the foundation of the creation of Vitirover. So for the design of Vitirover, what have we done? The first step is to choose between top-down and bottom-up design strategy. When we speak about top-down, it consists in starting from what exists and try to improve it, to copy and improve. So in agriculture, the job is done with a tractor on which you each a tool, you each a plow, you each a sprayer. So the robotic, in this logical of top-down design strategy would be, we will electrify the tractor, we will make it autonomous, and we will each a tool on this tractor robot. For example, you have this one, a tractor with no chauffeur. You have this one, another one, a robot on which you each plow. This one, same thing, a robot, and these two ones, straddle tractors robot. So the advantage of this top-down strategy is that it's very understandable for farmers, for investors, for everybody, because it's the same job, you know. At the beginning, the agriculture, at the beginning of agriculture, there was a tool, for example, the plow. It was dragged by a man, and then it has been dragged by a horse, and then by a tractor, and now it will be dragged by a robot. This is quite simple, but we feel that the challenge today is not simply to do the job, but to simplify the life of the farmers, and more of all, to be respectful of people and the planet. And there is another point. When Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he didn't start by trying to improve the candle. He tried to invent something different. And so we've seen the advantage. For the disadvantage, we can say, this seems evident looking at these photos, that they are always very heavy. Hannes spoke about the authorization to be autonomous, like the autonomous car, because there is a little risk with these big machines. So certainly that will take time to become really autonomous. And we also say that it's too big to be really clean. So our choice at Vitirover has been to the bottom-up design strategy. So the bottom-up design strategy consists in starting from the customer. So at the beginning of Vitirover, we put all our energy to reach users, to validate their needs, to validate their expectation, and to validate their purchasing capacity. And we've discovered that the wine growers had very clear idea on what they wanted. They wanted a solution cleaner, easier, and cheaper. And when they spoke, we asked them, what do you want to say by cleaner? And we heard tractor pollute and temp soil? And we answered, fleet of small tractors. They say, we want to try to consume less fossil energy. And we answer solar energy. And they also say, zero chemical weed killers, it will be banned. And plowing is not always a solution. And we've chosen a mower solution. So our product is a herd, a fleet of very small solar mower, 20 kilos. They also say we want an easier solution. And we heard equipment are more and more expensive to purchase. And we answered no robot sale. And we also heard maintenance, guarantee, spare parts, insurance, etc. It's complicated. And so we propose a full service, what we call Vitirover as a service. And we'll speak about our business model, but we do not sell robots. We sell maintain hectare for years from the beginning of Vitirover. And they also say we need a cheaper solution. And we noticed that there are no figures on cost of soil management. And we also see that the principle, the more important part in the cost was the vine stock hurt that are hurted or cut by the big machines. And so we answered, we will, with our small machine, 20 kilos and a speed of 200 meters per hour, we will never hurt or cut a vine stock. And in terms of cost, we propose a cheaper cost per hectare and per year, and we have a specific cost per plot. So this is the Vitirover Robot. This is really a description in this word of robot design, and I can say that like Hotbot, this is the result of a bottom-up design strategy. It's really a description. It's a solution. This solution is in no way imitates the old world of agriculture. This is an entire invention like Hotbot, and I'm very happy to know you better. So what about the product features? All our work has been in the direction of the low consumption by design. And you will see on the back of the slide that the power weight ratio is 1 watt per kilo, 1 watt per kilo. This is like the robot Curiosity on the planet Mars. This is very complicated to obtain. And so from the beginning, we've had this frugal approach. We really had this search for a minimum. Our engineers are maniac. They try always to find a microgram, to find a microwatt, and to try to remove it. So we have solar energy. Look at the others. We have this consumption of 1 watt per kilo. And we have this cost, this industrial cost to build a Vitirover of 4,500 euros per robot. Look at the others. And the robot have an autonomy with this solar panel and the lithium-ion battery. They work in the GNSS limit of the plot. They are able to cover, thanks to artificial intelligence and IoT solution, they are able to cover 100% of the plot, and they have the ability to get out all or the principal part of the terrain trap. They operate as managed herds, and there is this question of very low consumption. In terms of business model, just stay a little on this. This is very important for the farmers. It's difficult to enter in a new world and to try to buy a new machine, such complicated and technological machine. And even if the agriculture world is a sophisticated world, in terms of people, it's complicated to buy a robot. So we do not sell robots. We sell.
Arnaud, there's a question from the audience regarding this. Sorry to cut you here, but it's actually a question regarding the robot as a service. We say it's innovative, but in fact, someone in the public says, well, is it comparable to the common practice in agriculture where a regular contractor comes to the farm with its equipment and provide a paid service? Is it comparable to this?
Yeah, it is comparable to this, absolutely. For example, in the region of Bordeaux, there are two very important companies that sold teams to make the job in the vineyard, and they sell per hectare and they sell per job, we can say. We sell maintain hectares. As Oddbot told us 1 minute ago, this is between, in the vineyard, 30 and 50% of the time, the maintenance of the soil, remove the weeds, etc. So when you come with a pure solution where you have a guy in charge of a herd of robots supervising the work, remotely from a computer, but able to intervene if necessary in the plot. Look how it works. So the shepherd on the left of the screen, you have some fleets, some herds of robots, and on the right you have this robot management dashboard, for example, in vineyard, and there are another one for railways. And so the idea is that it's very simple. We take a commitment for result. There is a price per hectare and per year. And so, well, the job is done like that, and it works very well.
Thank you, Arnaud. I think we need to move on because the time is flying.
Just 2 minutes, please, to finish my presentation.
You have very interesting videos.
I wanted to speak about my markets. So we are on the vineyard and also on other markets where the vegetation has to be maintained, and where, for example, photovoltaic farm or airports, but also where the glyphosate has to be replaced, like railways or high tension substation. And what I just wanted to show you this video. Perhaps you can send it on your side, because what is very important on this video, the robots, the herd working on the vineyard, but more of all, look at the soil, look at the quality of this place, a beautiful vineyard in the old time, during the Monsanto period, was a soil where everything dead, where there is no insect, no vegetation, no earthworm, nothing. So this is what I wanted to show you.
So very interesting to see that your markets are not only in agriculture, but also along railways, for example. We just saw this fast train going.
This is very important, because the question of the maintenance of vegetation is a question of agriculture, but also a question for industry, railways, highways, airports, photovoltaic farm, electrical transformers. They all have this problem of removing the vegetation, maintenance of their vegetation. So yes, this is very important. And there is one. I lost the hand, or there is a. Okay, finish. You cut my presentation. Perhaps we have no more time, but okay.
Okay. I have a question to both you, Arnaud, but also Martin, about the innovation journey. I understand it's important for a new company to build partnerships to get its invention to a market and really to to make an invention, an innovation. You have this very good slide that tells about the Oddbot journey, and you already mentioned the Technical University of Delft and the University of Wageningen. What other partners or partnerships have you built to bring to improve your robot and bring it to market?
Yeah, for me, I was working in close collaboration with the Technical University of Delft and their Robotics Institute. So for me, it all started when I reaching out to them with the challenge that I saw and opportunity, given the fact that the heavy machines heavily compress the soil, the use of chemicals will be heavily reduced or even banned. The biodiversity is being threatened, and of course the need from the organic farmers. So I went to the TU and asked them if they could support me with that. And I was lucky to be able to work with a minor in robotics. So that is, I had a multidisciplinary team from the TU that built the first proof of principle, this version, in 5 months. And I think it's, for me, it really helped to kickstart it, because I could show actual robot. I learned a lot from it because it was performing poorly, but that was even good as a learning point. And that has helped me to convince investors that we have the knowledge and the skills, and we know what to improve. Yeah. So that's on one hand. And on the other hand, now more recently, I get a lot of help from the European Innovation and Technology Accelerator, also on the business side of things. So there's also support really from Europe, I must say. It's sometimes difficult to find the right entries. The same goes for Wageningen Research, for that matter. I asked them a lot of questions, but they said, yeah, we first need to have a proper project. If you're going to invest time, we should be able to expense it on kind of project code. So that was quite bureaucratic. So for me, what really helped was this rapid prototyping and rapid market validation with the use of these incubators and accelerators. Also joining the technical incubator from the Delft, called Yes Delft, and they also have mentors and support. So that's all, very contributing to being able to reach our milestones and continue the pace. Sure. I also saw a question here coming in to both me and Arnoud. What are, according to you, the limitations of a larger adoption of AgRobots? Recruiting tech profiles, mechatronics or computer science, regulations, as mentioned by Hannes, complicated logistics to deliver and debug the robots in several markets. So, the question is, what are, according to you, limitations of a larger adoption of the AgRobotics? For me, I would say what I still have to validate, if are farmers able to and willing to accept that the autonomous systems will perform less than humans. We don't want to fully replace humans, and I think from an engineering perspective, that would be a great challenge. But there's some maximum level of what you want to create and build, and what is feasible, because we will never reach 100%, for instance. So that is one thing, and of course, there's a war on talent. AI is such a Pandora's box. If you dive into the subject, this is exploding. So I now managed to get a sponsorship for my company, so I can also hire people from India. There's a lot of highly skilled people. But of course, so that is also to answer that question.
Okay.
And then the logistics and the delivery, for that we hope to work with local partners. For instance, with Baiwa from company from Hannes and via their Lagerhuizen.
Okay, thank you, Martin. Arnaud, in terms of partnerships, I think you have been working with the Agro Innovation Hub, represented by Hannes here, for several years now.
Yeah. We've done a lot of things together with RWA, and it has been a pleasure and a good occasion to meet real people. Because in terms of partnership, I'm sure that the best partner is the client, the user, and this has been for us the real solution to find all the disruption, all the new ideas that we've have had. Around that, we need money, so we need partners to finance all the research and development and the 5 generation of prototypes that we've done. And then we 5 partners to help us to communicate, to go out of the trap, to go out of, to go on the table, and to discover people and to speak about our solution. And this has been for us the good news, because we have received phone call from railways, from highways, from airports. We never prospect them. There has been spontaneous call just because our communication was done. So the partnership, client, money, and communication are very important. And thanks to the Hannes team, we've done all that in Austria with Agro Innovation Lab and RWA.
Thank you, Arnaud. I'm going to pass the floor for just a few minutes to Hannes, because I think we're in the last minutes of our 1-hour conference. Hannes, I would like you to react to these 2 companies that have been described, and maybe put them in perspective compared to some other companies that you have seen on your Agro Innovation Lab. You have a few slides presenting other companies. So could you give us some other examples and react to Vitirover and Oddbot presentations, please?
Yeah, definitely. So, in my opinion, like RWA could be in this service model, or be it a service model or a renting model. It could be a service partner for the robotic startups. And for being a service partner, it's very important to keep it easy to handle, because our goal is to solve the problem of the farmers. And in order to do that, it must be easy to handle. And what I mean with that, it's about, okay, have experts in the company, but if an expert is necessary to manage the robot, we cannot scale it. So the usability and the handling of the machines must be as easy as possible, so we can bring it to all the farmers in Austria, not only in Austria. And what is more, it's also about education. If we need a mechatronic expert or an engineer for every for running the machines, we might not be able to bring it to everybody. So I think this is also a critical point for being a service partner as RWA. And what is more, the machines must be in some way market ready. So in order to step into a collaboration, we need to show it to the farmers. For us, the critical criteria is to have farmers which are saying, okay, this robot, it makes sense, we can use it on our fields, and we would like to buy it. And if we are at this point, we can manage and check how we can organize the financing or the renting or the service model. But first of all, we need the farmer telling us he likes this solution and he wants to work with it. Mm-hmm. So, and compared to some other participants we had in our challenge, for example, I really like the design of Arnaud because it's a really easy to handle design. You don't even need electricity on the field, which is for permanent autonomous operation quite critical. But however, it depends on the target group. If we think of arable land, as we can see here on the screen, this is AgRobotics, which has a completely different design and also a different target group than Vitirover, for example. Here we have a machine which is working with 3-meter working width, doing seeding or weeding of arable crops. With 270 horsepower engines on the left, on the right, and navigating with GPS RTK. So, and as we saw in the past, or as agriculture always have been, it's very diverse. We don't have this one classic farmer which you can find in every country in Europe. We have different crops, we have different soil, we have different weather conditions, and that's why I think there is space for different designs and different different ways how to solve this issue. And here we have some different solutions, and this is a high weight solution focusing on work efficiency. But so I can, like for this solution, we don't have this crop detection, which Martin, for example, focused on. I think when we come into high value crops like vegetables or carrots, as Martin mentioned, it's really necessary to have a high detection rate. So I think 70% is quite already high, and there might be some space to improve even more. But I think this is the right way to attract these high value crops.
Okay, thank you, Anis. I don't think we have any more time to talk about other examples. Well, thank you very much to the three of you. It's been very informative what you all presented about the realities. Actually, it's not a potential anymore. It's a reality of AgRobotics in Europe right now. I keep in mind that the starting points are really the need for manpower, the need to find some new weeding solutions that don't need chemicals. Or less chemicals than in the past. It's really a driving demand in the organic industry or in conventional agriculture as well, and also outside of agriculture, as we saw with Arnaud, especially for along railways, and that's a big market, obviously, across Europe. We saw the potential, the promises, but also some limits, especially concerning the regulation, the legislation, the authorizations that need to happen. Also, the liability issue is important, and the trust of farmers for these new machines on their fields. So there's still a lot to be explored, but we saw that actually Europe is pretty advanced in this sector, and that's a very good thing, with many different projects across Europe going on. So thank you very much to all of you, and well, thank you for your attention and for your questions from you, the audience. I will be very happy to see you again at the next session of Invivo Quest, and that will be on October the 20th and the 21st via the same platform. Again, you will be able to see the videos of this conference today on this platform. So next time, the focus will be on Eastern Europe, on precision agriculture and software. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon.